Hi there, everybody. My name's Helen Grimster. I'm a former Gartner Analyst. Don't hold it against me. I was responsible for writing the PIM Market Guide, the MDM Market Guide, the Digital Shelf Market Guide. The list goes on. But I absolutely love PIM. And I think that's, for me, that's what I was nicknamed the Queen of PIM. But today we're going to talk about more than just PIM. We're going to talk about MDM, PIM, and PXM. So what I'd first like to start with is, who is using Syndigo for MDM? Can I have a show of hands? Oh, okay. What about PIM? Anybody using it for PIM? Syndication? Everybody. And is anybody using it for PXM? Or thinking it's PXM? Okay, right. Well, let's get started and let's talk it through then. So, is your product data helping or hurting your customer experience? It's been one of those questions that's been going on for years. What does it matter about my product data? Is it really going to make any changes, or is anybody really caring about what's going on? In my time at Gartner, and that's 2,000 inquiries with people like yourselves, lots of people didn't actually understand how they could make their product data better or how it could be impacting their customer experiences. So what we're going to look at today is how that's changed and move forward. And I am going to be a bit more of my ex-Gartner analyst hat on. So some of it might be future, some of it might not be the way that Syndigo is right now, but it's what's going to be happening, in my opinion, anyway. So where does it all sit together? Why do they matter? And what do they do? So if we think about it, they're almost like three different pillars. There's an evolution of the different ways that you look at product data. First of all, you start off with MDM. It's the sort of foundational layer. And I think Chris talked about that as well, whether he meant MDM or not. I'm going to pretend that he did. But that's where you're sort of thinking about it from not just your products, but other areas of the organization. It could be your customers, your locations, your suppliers, and being able to have that single version of the truth. You take that master data, and then you layer on what I like to call the glitter, the sparkle. I think Cloudinary's got a unicorn. For me, that is the bit that makes it exciting. It's the bit that makes everyone go, yay, I want to buy that. It's the thing that makes your product stand out on the shelf. That's where PIM comes in. And then now we're moving on to the lovely and sexy and brand new world of PXM, which is taking it one step further, bringing PIM, DAM, syndication, digital shelf, and all of those components together into one sexy new package. That's PXM. So let's start with master data. Now, I know maybe everybody thinks, oh my God, she's talking about master data again. I've heard it all before. It's not very interesting. It's like, we've tried it, it failed. Everybody thinks it doesn't matter. But really, it's changed. You need that foundational layer of that master data to do so many things within your organization. Without it, you cannot be behind that data. And I think what's changed is the need for that data for doing things like AI, for feeding your large language models, for making sure that you have that governance around the data that's out there. It's a core piece of the puzzle. But what does it actually do? And why does it matter so much? And I think you could probably say, but we don't need a tool for this. We could look at things like I'm going to just say Databricks. I know you're here. I apologize. Snowflake, all of these other things. Do I need to do it? Can I build it myself? And I'd love to say that for every inquiry, I could have got $10 for people who said, I can build my own. Well, good luck with that, because a lot of people tried and they failed and they couldn't deliver value back to the business for that master data. So I think it's time to maybe think about, do you need master data? Could you add it in? Could it be that foundational layer to deliver great product information across your organization, or also things around your customers, your suppliers, and so on? So it's being able to sort of think about, it's more around an enterprise thing that you might want to deliver. Master data management has moved on, and it's had a glow up. It's become quite lovely and quite gorgeous. As you can tell, I get quite excited about it and think everybody needs master data. But I've heard so many sad stories of people who spent years building a master data solution. It hasn't got anywhere. But that's changed. We're now looking at a different approach. It used to be the IT department that looked after it. Now it's the business. They're thinking about the different ways that they can use that data to be more successful. It used to be static. It used to be sort of just sat there in a silo in a good old Oracle database. We've moved on. We have things in the cloud. So now you can be more intelligent. You can get value from that data much quicker and much faster. It used to be about just mastering, creating that one view. It just sat there. You didn't do anything with it. Now it's real time. Being able to draw on that to be able to do things like make decisions quickly, be able to update fast and be agile and really help power your business forward. It used to be just a single domain. It used to be just, oh, we're just going to manage product or we're just going to manage customer. Now what you want to be able to do is to bring that all together to have that full insight across the organization of different things. And it was very much a back-end thing, and it was very, all about just sitting in the back behind there, and everybody was like, oh, there's somebody going to take hours building me a new business rule or being able to set up a new thing within the organization. Now, it's much quicker, it's much faster, you can do everything as you need it. And of course, it is for compliance. You do need to know that the data that you're sharing has fully governed. But now it's an enabler, you can use it to do so much more. But you might be thinking, I don't really care about it. What's happening in master data? Well, of course, it wouldn't be a presentation without talking about AI. And it does mean just because you can doesn't mean you should. But I think it's really interesting the way that the market is moving. And when I was looking at it at Gartner, there were so many vendors looking at how you can make things so that you don't have to spend all day doing things to speed things up, put agentic AI in place. Being able to do things around your data quality, making suggestions on how to improve your match rates, being able to make your workflows flow much quicker and faster so things got pushed through without having to have human intervention. Being able to do that sort of context-aware decision support, making it much easier for you to move forward. Thinking about how you're going to use that data for hyper-personalization, and of course being able to monitor your compliance. So don't dismiss MDM as being something boring. Think about maybe it might be something that you might want to look at in the future. Next, of course, is PIM. And for me, it's where the magic happens. It's where you're going to take that data and enrich it. I'm probably speaking to everybody that knows that you need to have that great foundation of product information to drive things forward. But it is brilliant. It's the thing that makes everything happen. It's the way that you can fuel your organization and make sure that your customers come back, that they can find the information about your products, that you've got that standardization. I've heard some horrendous stories where, because I'm British, of converting from inches to centimetres and where things go wrong with that decimal point and not being able to put things in the warehouse or the wrong sizing. So being able to have that ability to have those rules in place to make sure that you've got things right. But the other thing, of course, is that it allows you to be creative, to make your products really stand out and to get creative and to put that in place. So, even if you didn't think PIM was exciting, it absolutely is. And for me, it's even more exciting than season 6 or whatever it is of Stranger Things, which is just coming up. I am excited about that too, but PIM is more exciting. And it allows you to have that consistency across everything that you're doing, across the shelf and so on. So what's changed with PIM in 2025? Excuse me. We all know there was significant investment in the PIM space over the last few years, and that's meant that there's been a huge growth. And there are, and I'm going to be honest, over 200 PIM providers out there, ranging from tiny little ones up to wonderful ones like ourselves. So there's been a lot of investment, a lot of changes, maybe a bit of M&A activity. And there's things like that have happened, like people like ContentServe, maybe they're not so big over here, have been acquired. So it's an ever-changing space, and making sure you're making the right choices is really important. I've seen such a renewed urgency for PIM programs in the last few years. It used to be, we've got a catalogue, we don't need to do anything. But as people have evolved and realised that spreadsheets can't do what you're expecting them to do, they're looking to invest in PIM. There's been a sort of that evolution towards PXM, and I'll get into that in a bit more detail. But that's meant that people have rethought about it and thought, how can I move forward? And of course, sort of the Mac, or the sort of headless, composable way of looking at architecture, has made people rethink how they're going to bring in PIM. Now, of course, it may be that you might think, oh, I've got to have a Mac compliant tool to do this. Absolutely not. Everything that can be composable, and of course Syndigo allows you to just be able to add in different components that you may need, and we'll get to that in a bit more detail too. Now, I am European, and we have had a massive talking about the digital product passport and the changes in the need to have that information about where your products have come from. And for me, PIM is going to be that place for you to be able to gather that information, to be able to say, I know where my products come from. I know the traceability, the country of origin. And of course, as we're looking for you guys at tariffs, and in the UK, we may be getting rid of Brexit, who knows? So we're all thinking about these different things of being able to do that traceability. And we all know that people want to know how much plastic's in their products, where they've come from, is it recycled, all of these kind of things. And for me, PIM is going to be that place where we're going to hold that information. And of course, there is going to be increases in AI and so on. But the next thing to really think about is where we've come from. And this just is a segue into where PXM is. And as you know, as you can see, love a 3-letter acronym beginning with P. It's the best. So if we're starting with product content management, which was back in the day, actually, I'm going to say before I was born, which is not strictly true, but before most of us were born, when it was all about catalogues and so on, and it was all about being able to pull that information together to do those printed catalogues. Those were the good old days. Then we've moved on to sort of going online and having the PIM there to support that. And that was very exciting. You could have a catalogue, but it didn't do everything that you wanted it to in a lot of ways. You couldn't personalize it. You couldn't do translation. You couldn't do context and omni-channel. And that's where the growth of PIM came in, and where we are sort of moving now from being maybe more product-centric to customer-centric. And now we've moved into PXM, that product experience management, that bringing together to create that new way of bringing that product information to life. And that's what we're going to look at now. What is PXM? Now, you may think, oh, everyone's talking about it. Now, I was like, oh, it's just marketing hype. What does it actually mean? It's just the next generation of PIM. Yes, in a way it is, but it's really thinking about moving that whole story forward. It's not just about the product information. It's making sure you're taking that content and making it something that's going to shine. It's thinking about it being about the customer experience, about driving conversions, bringing that all together, making sure that you can have the right assets, the right thing delivered at the right time, in the right context. And of course, for anybody that sells across multiple channels and multiple regions and multiple markets, you need to be able to support the ability to have translation, the ability to have different versions of a product, different ingredients in different markets and so on. But one of the key things about PXM, and probably if you don't think of anything else about PXM today, it's that ability to have faster time to market. It's that ability to be able to be really behind what you're delivering. And I think based on the number of people that I spoke to in my time at Gartner, that was the biggest thing. It was getting people excited about, if I invest in this technology, why should I invest? It's so that you can get your products there quicker and faster. It's also thinking about being more performance driven and being ready for wherever you need to deliver it. And yeah, we can talk about AI and automation, and I think we'll get into that in a bit more detail, but it is something that actually has relevance within this space. Being able to do that content creation, being able to do that automation of translation and looking at images and so on, it actually has a place. I know it's not for everybody. I know there may be some compliance, or there may be that you might not want to do it right away, but it is evolving and it does add value. And I think what it does allow you to do is to show off your products, to make them extra glittery, extra sparkly, and make sure that people choose them over one of your competitors. And of course, we are looking at how PXM is evolving, thinking about, of course, agentic AI and what else that can do. And I have seen customers already thinking about things like auto enrichment, Can they actually get the tool to help them do that, looking at the way that they wanted to describe their products, particularly if you have a very large catalogue that's changing and that you need to be able to do that as fast as possible. Doing things like optimizing for your channel, making sure that you have the right information for that particular market. Using AI to do that is quite a great use case moving forward. Also being able to look at, do you have gaps in your content, other bits that you're missing to ensure that you can get that product there quicker and faster, other areas where you can improve that moving forward. And of course, being able to use that to drive dynamic personalization, to be able to leverage the information that you're storing around the products to push that forward. And looking at how well your products are performing, other things that you can do. Can you take that loop back and that feedback from how well your products are performing in the marketplaces? Are you missing key SEO, or are there ways that other people are looking at the way that they're searching? Maybe they used to describe something as antique. You now want to change everything to be retro. Maybe there's been a change in colours. Maybe it used to be fuchsia, but now it's cerise that everybody's looking for. These kind of things, you can allow your agentic AI to do that for you. So it's really quite an exciting time. So I think really for me, it's thinking that PXM allows you to elevate your product data. It will allow you to think about doing those personalized tailored experiences. It gives you the foundation to do that, to drive it forward. It will also give you the ability to deliver seamless omni-channel experiences. It's taking PIM to the next level. It's bringing that all together, making it a single place to ensure that you're delivering the best product experiences. And of course, the one thing that we want more than anything else is to keep our customers, have that loyalty, and ensure that they are converting and choosing our products. So you might be thinking, do I need them all? Can I get away with just one? Of course you can. You can start anywhere in this journey. You could start with one particular part of the PXM framework. Maybe you might want to just start with doing your content enhancement, or maybe you just want to start with syndication. But you could think about in the future, maybe I want to add in more to that. Maybe you want to have that integration of taking your product master in and enriching it, and having a whole set stack that allows you to have that seamless integration is incredibly important. That single platform where it's already done for you, and allowing you to have that seamless integration and improving your decision making. Of course, it's easier because it's more efficient and cost savings because it's one platform. Everybody knows what it looks like and they're used to the UI. And of course, for me, it's giving you that competitive advantage. So of course, to summarize, these are maybe the three different areas in the business benefits of MDM, PIM and PXM. You start with your MDM to ensure your data integrity, that you've got that foundational layer, that you trust it, it's got governance, and it's something that can be used not just for PIM and PXM, but across the business, maybe feeding your ERP or feeding CRM or wherever you need to do it, maybe for planning, all of the supply chain and so on. Then you can take that product data. PIM is just one area. You can enrich and distribute that. Then the next part is being able to take it into PXM and be able to optimize your product presentation, ensure that you have the best version out there. So finally, we all know that customers expect a seamless experience and you require a single source of truth. And we offer both. And one of the main reasons, if you are even in the slightest bit interested of why did you leave Gartner, Helen? It was because to come and join a company that had everything all in one place, that was looking at driving the future of PXM forward. So for me, it was being able to think about taking all of those pillars, bring them all together and talk about them as a seamless experience that you can deliver back to your customers.